One minute, I'll just share the screen with you all. It's a very simple chapter and it's a very easy chapter basically. इसमें ऐसा है ना कि you only have to remember certain names of the organisms, okay? And here the names are going to be animal के, तो इतना कोई difficult situation है नहीं animal kingdom समझना, okay? So let us go ahead with animal kingdom. So very first thing, of course, about the animal kingdom is something that we have to, focus on. So what is an animal? Animals are multicellular heterotrophic organisms without cell wall and no chlorophyll would be present in them. You can see over here the various diverse forms. ये देखो बेटा, ये कितने सारे various diverse forms है यहाँ पर जो आपको दिखाई देते हैं animal के kingdom में. Everything we have to see in detail. Everything. Okay. So let us go with each one of them. So there are total 11 major phyla of Animalia. What are the phylum? So in living world, we had seen something called as species to the kingdom. And in that we had seen something called as phylum. So वैसे animal के लिए phylum was the word and plants के लिए the word was division, if you remember, correct? Yes. So here it's going to be the phyla. So let us understand how many phyla we have to study in detail. Okay. Porifera, Cnidaria, Ctenophora, Platyhelminthes, Aschelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata, and Chordata. These are the different phyla that we have to learn about. Like in plant kingdom, we have seen something called as Thallophyta, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, Gymnospermae, and Angiospermae. We have seen 5, correct, in plant kingdom. With all of you all right now, the plant kingdom is going on in our physical lectures and both, batches we are going to complete it in the coming week, correct? So we have seen 5. Here we have to see 11. So is it that difficult? No, it's very simple and it's very easy. Just remember, in what chronology it's going to be going ahead. Like from Porifera to Chordata, तब Porifera के बाद Cnidaria ही आएगा, उसके बाद Ctenophora ही आएगा. तो ये chronology आपको याद रखनी है. That is important. Then, yeah, the order is very important. Yes. Let us see the basis of classification, that what are the criteria that are used for separating, segregating these animals. So first is going to be level of organization. Level of organization में क्या क्या आएगा कि भाई ये cellular, unicellular है या multicellular है. अगर multicellular है तो tissue बनाता है या organ बनाता है या organ system बनाता है. That is called as level of organization. How the system is going to be based on the complexity of the different cells. That is level of organization. Body symmetry, I'll go in each of them, I'm going to go in detail. Okay. Body symmetry. Now when we talk about body symmetry, it's going to be radial hai, bilateral hai, asymmetrical hai, wo dekhna hai. Germinal layers, you know the 3 germinal layers. So are all the organisms made up of all the 3 germinal layer, or is it few of them 2 germinal layer or 1 germinal layer, or they do not have any specific germinal layer? Depending on that, they have classified, right? Coelom. Coelom bolte hain isko. It is not called as coelom or something like that way. We use the word coelom. Coelom का मतलब होता है cavity, body cavity. So some of these would be having a body cavity, some will have false body cavity, and some will have no body cavity. So what exactly it is we'll be talking about. Fifth is metamerism. Metamerism का मतलब होता है inside as well as outside you can see segmentation of the body. So the best example is going to be the earthworm, wherein you can see the segments from outside also and from internal side also. Luckily or unluckily, I don't know, but आपको earthworm का dissection नहीं है कॉलेज में, तो internally भी वो segmented होता है, ये अभी आपको मानना पड़ेगा क्योंकि आपको करना नहीं है अभी. We had to, we had the liberty of cutting the earthworm and observing it internally also. Anyways, so metamerism, that is segmentation, and presence or absence of a notochord. So these are the 6 basic criteria which will classify the different animals into 11 different groups from porifera to chordata. ठीक है, एक एक को देखेंगे. First, level of organization. Based on organization of cells, animals are grouped into 4 levels: cellular, tissue, organ and organ system. करेक्ट, एक एक कॉम्प्लेक्स बढ़ता जाएगा. सेल्यूलर का सबसे पहले हम देखेंगे. Cellular level of organization. See, that was the reason that I was telling you all that when you look at the pictures of different animals, it will be very easy for you all to understand this chapter. इसमें difficult कुछ नहीं है. Conceptually simple chapter है ये देखो. Here you can see the cells are arranged as loose cell aggregates. Okay, they are seen as loose cell aggregates. ये देखो. You can see they are just like hollow cylindrical structures. ये sponges है basically, and they are hollow cylindrical structures और इनमें ऐसा tissue या फिर ऐसा specific कोई shape नहीं बन रहा है. So these are would be your loose cell aggregates. Example is porifera. Okay. Tissue level of organization is cnidarians and ctenophora. So here you can see a jellyfish. आपने कभी jellyfish देखा है कि नहीं मुझे पता नहीं, बट अंडर वाटर वाले जितने भी ये आते हैं ना टेलीविजन पे, दे शो द अंडर वाटर वाले सीन्स एंड ऑल, उसमें ये ना जेलीफिश बहुत कॉमन दिखता है. इट मूव्स लाइक एन अम्ब्रेला के जैसे ऐसे ऐसे मूव करता जाता है. सो दोज आर गोइंग टू बी योर cnidarians and ctenophores. Cells are arranged into tissues. So एक है simple cell का aggregation which is called as cell aggregates porifera में. उससे थोड़े एडवांस्ड क्या हो गए, the cells will be arranged in a typical tissue form. Okay, that is going to be your cnidarians and ctenophores. Organ level of organization में क्या है देखो, organ बन रहा है अभी. So tissues are arranged in organs. Example, higher animals from platyhelminthes to chordates. From platyhelminthes to chordates we have got organ level, and organs are associated to form various organ systems. Each system performs a physiological function. Example again, all higher animals. Okay, तो ये अगर आप देखोगे तो ये दोनों ऑर्गेनिज्म सेम ही है, ऑर्गन लेवल पे भी और ऑर्गेनिज्म लेवल, ऑर्गन सिस्टम के नाम पे भी. Yes, because they have got organs also, and the organs are interconnected to form organ systems also. Okay, so these are the 4 levels of organization: cellular, tissue, organ and organ system. Any confusion in understanding these points? Easy hai? Yes? Okay. Well, now we come to the level of organization. Organ systems of different animals show different complexities. For example, we have got digestive system, we have got circulatory system, respiratory system, excretory system, reproductive system, nervous system, skeletal system, right? ये सारे जो systems है ना बेटा, उनमें हमने देखा है that not one single organ but several organs are interconnected to perform the same function. So like in case of digestive system, we have got 2 types of digestive system: incomplete and complete. So those organisms which show organ system level of organization, still they will be classified further into 2 groups depending upon their digestive system. So incomplete digestive system में क्या होता है? It has only a single opening that acts as mouth as well as anus. So एक ही opening है, mouth भी वही है और anus भी वही है. So example is cnidaria and platyhelminthes. cnidaria दिया है बेटा, porifera नहीं दिया है because porifera जो होता है उनमें cell aggregates है, tissue level, organ level कुछ नहीं है. Okay, complete, it has got 2 openings, mouth and anus. Circulatory system is again of 2 types, open circulatory system and closed circulatory system. So here you can see incomplete digestive system in hydra. Single opening is going to be present, correct? यहीं से खाना है, यहीं से फेंकना है unwanted चीज. Complete में you have got 1 mouth and 1 anus. Fine. Then we go with symmetry. तो ये समझाना what is open, what is closed, what is incomplete, what is complete. Any confusion in these? Okay है. Symmetry. It is the arrangement of similar body parts on 2 sides of the main axis of the body. So body can be divided into similar parts. Based on symmetry, animals are of 3 different types. It's a mistake over here, 2 लिखा है, 3 है. Asymmetrical, radial and bilateral. So here you can see asymmetrical. ये ऐसा इसका शेप है ना बेटा कि इसको 2 पार्ट्स में हम इक्वली डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर ही नहीं सकते, राइट? तो ये देखो, दिस इज अ स्पॉन्ज. ओके, a sponge has no symmetry. You cannot divide it into 2 equal parts at any given moment. Okay, symmetrical में ये हो गया अपना asymmetrical. ये देख, ये है bilaterally symmetrical. मतलब क्या? What do you mean by bilaterally symmetrical? When you cut it into from the median, when you cut it exactly into 2 halves, दोनों साइड के both sides जो होते हैं वो आपको उसका mirror image मिलेगा. Even human beings are bilaterally symmetrical. And what is radial symmetry? You cut it into any fashion, आपको similar halves मिलते ही हैं. Okay, that is radial symmetry. So there are 3 types of symmetries over here. See, asymmetry, here the body cannot be divided into 2 equal halves. Most of the poriferans and snails show this type of asymmetrical structures. Radial symmetry, here the body can be divided into 2 equal halves by any vertical plane along the central axis. So you cut it in this fashion, you cut it in this fashion, you cut it in this fashion. Whatever way you want to cut it, you can cut it and you are always going to get 2 equal halves. Okay, so see, they have shown the diagram of 2 equal halves कैसे मिलते हैं. तो कोई भी एंगल से आप उसको कट करोगे ना तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं, you will always get 2 equal halves. Okay, bilateral में here the body can be divided into right and left halves in only one plane. Example, plateal memphis to chordata except adult echinoderms. Adult echinoderms जो होते हैं ना, they'll show radial bilateral symmetry. Okay, so this is about the one more criteria that is considered for making groups of animals. Any doubts, any confusions? Anyone having difficulty with symmetry? Easy? One plane? This will be one plane. This will be the second plane. This will be the third plane. Plane मतलब angle. Okay. The way you cut your cake, you can cut it in this way. You can cut it in this way. You can cut it diagonally. Whatever plane you want, you can cut the cake into the way you want it. Generally, we cut it in a very precise way. But छोटे बच्चे अगर तुमने देखे हैं तो they are so into about cutting the cake and eating that ना, जैसे चाहिए वैसे ऐसे ऐसे उल्टा पुल्टा कैसे भी करके उसको काटेंगे, right? So that is called as in any plane. Then let's see the third criteria of classification, that's called as the germinal layers. So these are the layers of the embryo from which all the body organs are formed. We have seen in detail about the origin of ecto, endo and meso. Based on the germinal layers, animals are of 2 types, diploblastic and triploblastic. Okay, so you know this is a blastocele. This is your inner mass of cells and trophoblastic cells, and now gastrulation is taking place to form ectoderm, mesoderm, endoderm, you know all these things, correct? Which will give rise to two different types of germ layers. Okay, so what are those? What is diploblastic and what is triploblastic? Let us understand. See, diploblastic animals, they have only two germ layers, outer ectoderm and inner endoderm. Okay, in between these layers, an undifferentiated jelly-like layer called as mesoglea is present. Example, Nadaria and Ctenophora. Now here you can see these gray ones are ectoderms. These are the endoderms. And in between, there is going to be this red color ka layer which is going to be called as mesoglea. Fine. Triploblastic animals like we don't have mesoglea. Huh? What we have, see, ectoderm, endoderm, and then we have this mesoderm, orange one. So you can see this endoderm, mesoderm, ectoderm. So three germ layers, outer ectoderm, middle mesoderm, and inner endoderm will be present. So we all will be considered as what? Triploblastic. So from platyhelminthes to Nadaria, we have got triploblastic. Diplo means two, triplo means three. Two germ layers, three germ layers. ये germ layer नहीं है बेटा, ये जो है ये mesoglea है. It's a mucus-like layer that is going to be helping in binding the ecto with the endo. Okay. Coelom, that is the body cavity. Very important to understand this. There is a lot of misconception and people are, generally they get confused with these body cavity name. Please understand. It is the cavity lined by mesoderm. So what is the cavity? The cavity should be lined by mesoderm. It is seen between body wall and gut wall. Body wall and gut wall. Coelom separates the muscles of the gut and the body wall. Based on the nature of coelom, animals are of three types: acoelomate, pseudocoelomate, and true coelomates, that is, normal we call them as coelomates. Okay, so here you can see this is the coelom. Okay, this is the mesoderm. तो ये mesoderm किसका है? ये mesoderm body wall का है. ठीक है, और ये mesoderm का कौन सी इसका है? तो ये mesoderm है अपने gut wall का. तो body wall का mesoderm and gut wall के mesoderm के बीच में ये जो cavity बनी है, that is going to be called as coelom. So what is coelom? Cavity which is present between the body wall and the gut wall. ठीक है? See, now look at this. Here you can see. I hope you all are understanding this particular. This is the body wall. See, and this is the gut wall. Gut wall will contain everything. Your entire digestive system का अपना पूरा जो pipeline है ना, वो पूरा का पूरा will be considered as the gut. Okay, fine. Now, what is your doubt, beta? What are those vertical lines between gut walls? And they are going to be called as mesenteries. I'll come to that. It will be called as mesenteries. Okay. So this is the body wall. This is the gut wall. Now here you can see this is the lined body cavity, जिसको हम coelom कह रहे हैं. And here you can see peritoneum. So this is the peritoneum. And ये जो cavity है blue color वाला जो दिख रहा है, that is going to be your coelom. Got it? ये देखो, ये वाला part इसका enlarge किया है. This female is running and this portion of her belly is enlarged over here, which shows the peritoneum with the body cavity. Okay, so you all have understood what is this cavity actually? Huh? Yeah. Look at this. Space between body wall and digestive cavity is filled with matrix, that is parenchyma, which is seen in porifera to platyhelminthes. So here there is no cavity present because that cavity is completely filled with what? Parenchyma. Therefore, these will be called as acoelomates. Okay, तो ये जो cavity है वो cavity है ही नहीं. There is no cavity anywhere. Can you see any cavity here? No. Right? So these are going to be called as what? Acoelomates. So here you can see digestive tract from the endoderm, tissue filled with this entire region to form the mesoderm and body covering to form the ectoderm. ये plateal membrane का डायग्राम लिया है. plateal membrane को बीच में से कट करके दिखाया है. So they do not have any cavity, they do not have any coelom, so they will be considered as acoelomates. Pseudo means false. So pseudocoelomates क्या है देखो. Here the body cavity is not lined by mesoderm. Body cavity है, but what was the definition of coelom? It should be lined by mesoderm. So here the body cavity is not lined by mesoderm. Rather, the mesoderm is scattered in pouches, which is seen only and only in ascalmanthus. So pseudocoelomate, ये जो word कभी भी आपके पेपर में आता है ना बेटा, by default only one type of organisms present, that is ascalmanthus. No other phyla is going to have pseudocoelomates. Okay, so porifera to plateal membrane is acoelomates and pseudocoelomates एक ही है, that is ascalmanthus. And beyond ascalmanthus, that is from annelida to chordata, everyone will have a coelom. So that is coelomates or true coelom as we say. Here the coelom arises from the mesoderm. Example, annelida to chordata. So here you can see ये earthworm लिया है, earthworm को cut किया, so you can see the coelom over here. See. So this is blue one, body covered from ectoderm, tissue layer lining coelom and suspending internal organs from the mesoderm here, and digestive tract from the endoderm. So this is the digestive tract, this is the ectoderm, ये mesoderm है और mesoderm के बीच में ये cavities दिख रही है, which is going to be your coelom. Got it? Any difficulty in understanding acoelomate, pseudocoelomate, and coelomates? Remember, acoelomates still plateal membrane. Pseudocoelomates only one, ascalmanthus. And annelida up till chordata all are coelomates. ठीक है? ये याद रखना पड़ेगा. Would you be able to recollect? इसलिए मैंने स्टार्टिंग में वो जो 11 फाइलम बताया, मैंने पहले ही बोला उसका ऑर्डर अच्छी तरह से याद रखो, तो ये चैप्टर इधर ही इजी हो जाएगा. Fine. Then see, metamerism is one more criteria, as I said, that is segmentation. It is a phenomena in which the body or organ is externally as well as internally divided into repeated segments. सिर्फ external segments है तो it won't be considered as metamerism. It should be externally as well as internally. Okay. Example, annelids like earthworm and arthropods. Not all, but many of the arthropods going to have a metameric segmentation. ठीक है? तो ये देखो, ये बाहर से आपको दिख रहे हैं segments, earthworm के ऊपर से, और ये internally भी है, ये देखो, internal segments भी. ठीक है? So that is going to be your metamerism. हाँ, earthworm internal. Yeah. The sixth and the last criteria is going to be what? Absence or presence of a notochord. So see, notochord, it is a mesodermally derived supporting rod formed on the dorsal side during embryonic development in some animals. Right? So here you can see here, hollow dorsal nerve here. Right? Animals with notochord are called as chordates, and those without the notochord will be called as non-chordates. So here you can see a notochord very clearly. ये देखो, दिख रहा है तुम्हें, ये notochord है. ये ब्राउन वाला, वैसे ही इधर भी ब्राउन वाला नोटोकॉर्ड देखो बेटा, सी दिस, correct? So nerve cord is present as well as notochord is present. Nerve cord is present as well as notochord is present. So these type of animals will be called as what? Chordates. So all 6 criteria are understood for making groups of organisms. What is the difference between nerve cord and notochord? Hollow dorsal nerves in which the nerves or the neural signals either se pass होंगे. And this is going to be your supporting system. Our notochord is modified to form spinal cord. Okay, our notochord is modified to form spinal cord. ठीक है? Any difficulty till your before I move ahead with the actual classification? जैसे हमने Talophyta, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, Gymnospermae, Angiospermae, फिर उसमें हमने किया था something called as Halophytes में Chlorophyceae, Phaeophyceae, Rhodophyceae, Bryophytes में हमने liverworts, hornworts, mosses या hepatic opsida, then Anthoceratopsida, and then Musca. ये सब हमने कैसे किए थे ना, आगे 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 वैसे we have to talk about animals as well. But before I go to that type of classification, any difficulty in whatever we have done? Come on, tell me. Any problem? I'll go ahead. Okay. Kingdom Animalia at a glance. Levels of organization we have already seen. Cellular, mostly asymmetrical, acylomate. Example is porifera. So how is the classification? Level of organization, how is the symmetry, how is the body cavity, and what is the name of that phylum? Okay? If it is tissue, organ or organ system level of classification, it could be radial symmetry or bilateral symmetry. If it is radial symmetry, body cavity check करते हैं, acylomates होता है. Example is Coelenterata, also called as Nadaria and Ctenophora. Okay. Bilateral symmetry अगर दिखाई देती है तो आधे acylomates, pseudocylomates और coelomates. Is one more criteria that we have to see. If it is acylomates, then it is platyhelminthes. If it is pseudocylomates, just now I told you only one example, that is ascylminthes. And if it is coelomates, then there could be annelid, arthropoda, mollusca, echinodermata, hemichordate or chordate. ठीक है, इधर echinodermata में एक ऐसा फ्लावर बनाया है जिसका मीनिंग यहाँ पर दिया है that echinoderm show radial symmetry in adult stages, which already I have explained just now when I was talking about echinoderms. Fine. So one more time, beta. Kingdom Animalia, if it is cellular, means only cell aggregates, then the symmetry is going to be generally asymmetrical. There won't be any body cavity, so it's going to be acylomates, and example will be phylum Porifera. If the organization of tissue, organ or organ system, then we have to check for the symmetry. If it is radial or it is bilateral. If it is radial, then we have to check if it is coelomate or acylomate. So it's acylomates. The example is going to be platyhelminthes. Ctenophora and Nidaria. If it is bilateral symmetry, then we have to check again what? Acylomate, pseudocoelomate, yeah, coelomate. If it is acylomate bilateral symmetry, then there is only one particular example, that is platyhelminthes. And if it is going to be pseudocoelomate bilateral symmetry, only one again, ascylminthes. Rest everyone will come under true coelom, bilateral, that is Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata, and Chordata. Simple. This particular chart is given in your NCERT textbook as well. in detail they have given about this. ठीक है, समझा अच्छी तरह से बेटा? कोई डिफिकल्टी है? Okay. We go to each. First is porifera. See, such a beautiful diagram. The photograph itself is so clear that it will, distinguish its form from the other life forms. उसके आजू बाजू में एक fish है, कुछ plants दिखाई दे रहे हैं. You can see green algae. You can see the kelps. ये देखो यहाँ पर kelps है ये. These are the kelps, right? But look at this. These are very typical and unique in their formation, right? This is porifera. Yeah, all these are porifera only. Phylum porifera. What we have to check about phylum porifera: level of organization, body symmetry, germinal layers, coelom, habit and habitat, digestive system, respiratory system, circulatory system, reproduction, unique features, and the examples. All these are going to make up your complete phylum porifera. General characters, grades of organization. Cellular means what? Only cell aggregates. Symmetry, mostly asymmetrical. Some could be radial. Germ layers, absent. They don't have any germ layers. They are simple cell aggregates. Coelom, absent. So they are called as acoelomates. Correct? Habit and habitat. Aquatic, mostly marine. Sedentary lifestyle, that is, they are attached with the rocks or the ocean beds or something. They are attached from the base and they are free from the apex. That is called as sedentary. They could be solitary or they could be colonial. Solitary means they can be all alone or they can form colonies. Okay? Right? So these are going to be your habit and habitat. Then see, digestive system, absent. So how do they perform digestion there? So digestion is going to be performed intracellularly. That is digestion inside cell. Intracellularly है बेटा. Organ के अंदर होता है, वो intracellular नहीं होता है. So individual cells of this hollow structures ना, they are going to have their digestion taking place inside individual cells. Okay, respiratory system absent, circulatory system absent. They are simple cell aggregates. तो क्या ये systems होंगे उनके पास? कुछ नहीं होगा, right? Reproduction, asexual by fragmentation, and they also show the formation of gametes. So it's also going to show sexual reproduction. They are hermaphrodites, that is, male and female sex organs are present in the single individual. See, my dears, in case of plants, we use the word monoecious. And in case of animals, we use the word hermaphrodites. Right? Internal fertilization. Development is indirect. What do you mean by this word indirect? The meaning of this word indirect का मतलब होता है there are going to be several different larval stages in between. Okay, so one larval stage will look different from other larval stage. So see, an adult sponge releases sperm cells. The sperm cells enter another sponge. A sperm cell fertilizes the egg cell. You can see this is the egg cell, this is the sperm cell, they are fertilizing. A larvae develops. Correct? Water current carry the larvae away. The larvae settles on a hard surface and develops into an adult sponge. So इतना simple इनका reproductive cycle है, sexual reproductive cycle है. Got it? Now if you look at this larvae, it does not resemble anywhere with the adult. बिल्कुल adult के जैसा ये नहीं दिखता है ना? इसलिए हम इसको कहते हैं indirect development. Got it? That is about the reproduction. What are the unique characteristics of porifera? These are very important. Unique features, they have got water canal system. Here, water enters through millions of minute pores called as ostia. What are they called as? Ostia, which are present in the body wall into a central cavity. You can see this. These all are going to be the ostia. ये ostia है, ठीक है? These all are ostia. And through these ostia, ये cells के बीच में ये जो openings है वो ostia है. Water will be entering inside. So you can see the water is entering inside this ostia. Into the central cavity, which is going to be called as spongiocele, from where it goes out through the osculum. So see, पानी को अंदर आने के लिए इतने छोटे 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 इतने spaces है. But to let out the water, there is only one opening called as osculum. So this osculum is a single opening through which the water will be thrown out. And ostia are several millions of openings through which the water will enter inside. And because of these pores, because of this ostia, the entire sponge look porous. Porous को ही porifera कहा जाता है. Okay, so the water will enter through the ostia, it will reach the cavity called as spongiocele. From the spongiocele, the water will be drained out through the osculum, and the water will again come out into the water body. Did you all understand? But why this system is there? Why this canal system is there? So see, canal system is used for food gathering, gaseous exchange, and removal of waste. So whatever water would enter inside the spongiocele will have a lot of food also with it. So that water will be laden with food. So they'll get a source of food over there. And whatever waste has been made inside the spongiocele after digestion of the food will be thrown out via the osculum. So the water canal system is helping in what? Nourishment, correct? Gaseous exchange, as well as excretion. Okay? Understood? So here also you can see the water flow is inside through this porocytes or ostia, and the water flows outside through the osculum. Any problem in understanding ostia, spongiocele, osculum, or the water canal system into? Anyone who has got any difficulty, please stop and ask me, beta. Bolo. Tell me. All good? आएंगे बताएंगे. Yeah. Then what is the another point? See, this is also a unique feature. Body is supported by spicules and spongin fibers. So here you can see this is the spongiocele, central cavity. ये part को अगर हमने enlarge किया, zoom किया, तो what do we see? We see glass-like spicules, amoeboid cells, semi-fluid matrix, flattened surface cells, and these are going to be called as the collar cells. What are these cells going to be called as? Collar cells. Fine. These are the various shapes of the spicules. So spicules and spongin fibers बहुत important है because what is the function? Let's see. See. Actually, they haven't given. Okay. So these are going to be helping in what? These are going to be, these collar cells are going to be helping in only in porifera. Collar cells are only found in porifera. Okay. Yeah. So they are going to be helping in excretion part. Rather, I would say digestion and excretion. Digestion के लिए collar cells काम में आते हैं. Okay. Got it? Okay. So remember the names, huh? Examples. साइकॉन, ये देखो, ये ओरिजिनली ऐसे दिखता है पानी में. आपको ड्राइंग के लिए ऐसे ड्रॉ करना है या बुक में ऐसे दिखाना है. Spongilla looks like this. It's a freshwater sponge. You have to draw it like this way, or in your books the diagram is something like this. Many students feel this is a fish because it seems like an eye and all those things. No, these are the ostia that are going to be present. Okay, this is euspongia, which is called as bath soap. Okay, it looks like this originally, and this is the way we draw it. Why do we call it as bath soap? You know, we use this for scrubbing. Many of us we use this as a scrub. I don't know if you have ever used it. इसको थोड़ा सा shape देते हैं और उसका वो scrub बनाते हैं. It clears out the dead skin of the foot especially. Therefore, it's called as the bath sponge. Euspongia. So 3 examples of porifera that you have to write down 5 times. Cycon, spongilla, euspongia. All 3 are the examples of porifera. Any difficulty? Any difficulty? Come on, go through it quickly. Write down the examples, otherwise you will forget it later on. And I want you all to write it 5 times. जैसा मैंने तुम्हें प्लांट किंगडम के लिए बोला है वैसे ही the same thing goes. Okay. Right. Now, before I move ahead with the next one, let me tell you all, your NCERT textbooks में यहाँ पर जो collar cells दिए हैं ना, ये collar cells लिखा है ना यहाँ पर, they are nothing but they are also called as choanocytes. What are they called as? CHOANO, choanocytes. Okay, तो ये word और collar cells एक ही होते हैं. ठीक. So at a glance, let us look at it. Grades of organization, summary जिसको हम बोलते हैं. Cellular, symmetry, mostly asymmetrical, some are radial, germ layers absent, acoelomate, aquatic, sedentary, solitary or colonial, digestive system absent, intracellular digestion takes place, respiratory system absent, circulatory system absent, reproduction asexual and sexual, they are hermaphrodites, they show internal fertilization, development is indirect, unique feature is water canal system, millions of ostia present, spongocele and canals are lined by choanocytes. तो अभी इधर उन्होंने वर्ड choanocytes दिया है बेटा, पहले उन्होंने collar cell दिया है, इसलिए हमने पहले ही बोला choanocytes and collar cells are the same. Body is supported by spicules and spongin fibers. Example, cycons, spongia and euspongia. Right? Understood? ये एक चार्ट अगर तुमने याद रखा ना तो तुम्हारा पूरा पोरिफेरा दिमाग में फिट हो गया. This one chart is more than enough. That's why I said it's very easy. Kingdom Animalia is very easy to understand and remember if you know the basics. Clear? कोई difficulty है कोई भी words में? Look at it. Yes, Vidhi. You're right. Yes. Proteins. Okay. Well, sedentary means not moving from the base. They cannot locomote. They are attached at the base, but they may sway along with the water current. They may just, sway. So, attached at the base, but free from the apex. That is actually sedentary. Okay. Okay. Then we come to phylum Cnidaria. Jellyfish, जिसको हम कहते हैं. ये diagram से ही पता चलेगा. It looks like an umbrella, right? It's more like an umbrella. General characteristics, grades of organization, tissue level, symmetry, radial, germ layers, diploblastic, coelom, acoelomate. So the same thing we have studied in that NCERT का chart ना, यही यहाँ पर words में put up किया है. Tissue level, body organization, radial symmetry, two germ layers present. That means mesoglia is going to be a part of this, right? And coelom is absent. So you can see the different pictures over here or different nidarians. Okay, and what would be the common thing among them is what we have to understand. Habit and habitat. They are aquatic, mostly marine, just like your sponges. They are sessile or free swimming. Sessile का मतलब है not attached to anything. Okay, and they can freely swim. They could be solitary or they could be colonial, right? So here you can see they are actually moving in the water. देखो ये ऐसे मस्त पानी में ऐसे घूम रहे हैं, ऐसे ना ऐसे ऐसे करके वो ऊपर ऊपर आते जाते हैं, फिर एकदम से नीचे जाते हैं. अगेन दे ट्राई टू मूव अप अगेन धम करके नीचे जाते हैं. So these all are going to be your cnidarians. See microscopic structures. Look at these. Okay. Then digestive system is incomplete. You know what do you mean by incomplete digestive system? They are going to have mouth and anus as one only one opening. That is called as incomplete digestive system. Yeah. Intracellular digestion as well as extracellular digestion. Okay. So the digestion could take place inside the cells also, or it could take place in the body cavities also. Respiratory system absent. Circulatory system is also absent. Look at this. Digestion of hydra. Digestive enzymes released from a gland cell. Soft tissues get digested. Food particle gets engulfed. Food particles get digested in the food vacuoles. Here you can see the food is entered inside and the digestion is taking place in the food vacuole. Okay, so this is how the digestion in hydra can be seen. तो ये hydra का उन्होंने क्रॉस सेक्शन लिया है. ये देखो फूड डैफनिया और वाटर फ्ली. तो उन्होंने क्या खाया, उन्होंने माउथ से एंगल्फ क्या किया, तो एक वाटर फ्ली को इन्होंने खा लिया. किसने? हाइड्रा ने. Hydra has got tentacles. You can see the tentacles. Correct? So it captures Daphnia, which is nothing but a water flea, puts it in its cavity, which will then be digested inside these cells. Okay? Reproduction, very important, because here there is going to be something called as two types of forms can be seen. So polyp reproduces asexually by the process of budding to give rise to medusa. And medusa will produce gametes to act like a sexually reproducing organ. So polyp and medusa are all showing alternation of generation. Okay, so you can see over here very beautifully. This is going to be a polyp. Okay. Okay, fine. Polyp reproduces by asexual method. See, okay, to give rise to, it's a bud. Fine. Ephyra larva. Name of the larva. Larval stages hai. Name of the larvae. Larvae will grow to form a medusa. तो ये जो umbrella like structure बनता है उसको हम कहते हैं medusa. Okay. Medusa will give out gametes. Fertilization will take place to give rise to planula larva. Again, they develop into a new polyp. So polyp to medusa, medusa to polyp, यही चलता रहता है. तो ये medusa का उन्होंने यहाँ पर structure दिखाया है बेटा. Look at this. Here you can see the gonads. Here also you can see the gonads. So these are the male gonads which will form the sperm. These are the female gonads. Okay. The sperms as well as the eggs will be released in the water. So the fertilization is external. Means what? The fertilization will take place in the water body, not inside the organism. So here the zygote would form. Zygote would develop into planula larvae. Planula larvae will eventually form a polyp. Did you understand? Polyp to medusa, medusa to a polyp. This is continuously going on. Remember the two words which are not there in your books, yet you have to remember. Planula larvae is a product of sexual reproduction, while Iphyra larvae is a product of asexual reproduction. Okay? So mostly the sexes are separate. External fertilization means the egg and the sperm will fertilize in the water body. External fertilization. Development is indirect because there is formation of larvae. Any difficulty in understanding this? पॉलिप स्टेज क्या होता है और मेड्यूसा स्टेज क्या होता है, समझा बेटा? पॉलिप स्टेज हमेशा अटैच्ड होता है, मेड्यूसा फ्री फ्लोटिंग होता है. पॉलिप बड्स बनाता है, मेड्यूसा गैमीट्स बनाता है. पॉलिप एसेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन अंडरगो करता है, मेड्यूसा सेक्सुअल रिप्रोडक्शन में हेल्प करता है. अंडरस्टैंडिंग दीस पॉइंट्स ना? करेक्ट. Polyp will give rise to medusa, while medusa will give rise to polyp. What do you want me to explain, beta? Medusa? Medusa is this. When a bud from the polyp will be broken out, it will develop an Iphyra larvae. The Iphyra larvae will eventually form the adult stage, which will be called as medusa. So medusa is a free-floating and an umbrella-like structure, which is not attached to any substratum. It is going to make the gametes, male gametes and the female gametes. Okay, so that is the role of medusa. Did you all understand this? Any difficulty in understanding any part of this? Is it clear to all of you? Yeah. What is the unique feature? Tentacles with neuroblast. Tentacles are finger-like structures which surrounds the mouth of the cylindrids. These tentacles are used for capturing food and to act like a defense organ. तो उनके पास अगर कोई आता है ना, तो इससे वो ऐसे मतलब just like a lasso, they will hit that particular the organisms which are trying to come near them. So it's an organ of defense as well. Nidoblast, which are also called as nidocytes, are stinging cells. Sting करना समझते हो? You know what is a sting? Honeybee का sting. हाँ. The stinging cells are present on the tentacles as well as on the body with a poison-filled capsule, which is called as nematocyst. Nidoblast is used for anchorage, defense, and to capture prey. Now, please understand this structure. See, they have given it. Here you can see the tentacle, the tip of the tentacle. You can see the tip of the tentacle. At the tip of the tentacle, you can see this. This is nothing but, what is this? Nidoblast. इसको हम क्या कहते हैं? Nidoblast कहते हैं. अब ये nidoblast को अगर मैं zoom करती हूँ तो मुझे क्या अंदर मिलेगा? I can see a coiled thread and a capsule. This capsule will be called as nematocyst. Okay, and I don't know if you have ever played with a top in your बचपन में कभी तुम लोग ने टॉप से खेला है क्या? You all call it as Beyblade, not a top. You used to call it as a top. You all call it as a Beyblade nowadays. So when we used to play with the tops, we had to hold that wooden or the plastic top, the wooden top only, and then we had to tie a rope around it. है ना? हाँ, bhavra. Yes, we have to tie a rope around it, and then we have to like propel it in such a way and plug the string, that rope, perfectly so that the top could spin. In the same way, here also, look at it. This is a thread which is tied onto that particular capsule. Now, as and when the prey is approaching, what it will do? It will propel out that thread. It will get that thread bound around the prey और इसको pull करके फिर अंदर लेके आता है. देखो कितना smart है हाइड्रा, देखो. And it will then gulp it down into its cavity. So this is how the prey is captured. In the same way, they will, hit or damage the anyone who is coming to harm them also. तो अगर उसको कोई हार्म करने के लिए आता है, उसके आजू बाजू आता है ना, तो उसको भी ऐसे ही पट्टे से मार मार के परेशान कर देते हैं. Okay, so it's for capturing food, it's for defense, and it is also for anchorage. So they may also help in holding these, organisms at a particular place. So you understood the difference between what is a tentacle, what is an odoblast, and what is a nematocyst. ये तीनों फर्क समझ में आ गए? हाँ? So nematocyst is nothing but a capsule which will contain a coiled thread. This particular cell containing a capsule and the coiled thread will be called as nidoblast. Nidoblast would be present in the tentacles of the hydra. Okay. Yes, Ethni, you're right. You're right. Yes, yes. So here you can see this is the nematocyst. This is the thread which has been come out. Any difficulty in understanding Nidaria? Special characteristics, unique features जो भी है समझ में आ गए? All of you? Okay. Then they have got something called as a gastrovascular cavity, जिसको हम कहते हैं cylindron, with an opening which is the mouth on the hypostome. Now, what are all these things? Let us understand. Okay, here you can see a polyp stage. This is the polyp stage, correct? Here you can see the hypostome, okay, which is going to bear the mouth. This is the body stalk. This is the gastrovascular cavity. The way the sponges had spongocele, these cnidarians will have gastrovascular cavity. These are the tentacles, correct? This yellow part, which is present between the body stalk and the gastrovascular cavity, is called as gastrodermis. Over the gastrodermis, you can see a light blue color का structure, which will be nothing but your mesoglia. So you remember ectoderm and endoderm के बीच में mesoglia होता है. So यही उन्होंने दिखाया है diploblastic organism के हिसाब से. Epidermis, okay. This is the medusa form. It also is going to have a mouth, tentacle, epidermis, mesoglia, gastrodermis, gastrovascular cavity. Everything will be the same even in this stage. Okay, so this is the polyp form, this is the medusa form. Both are going to be having the similar structures internally. Any doubts, beta? समझ में आ गया ये? Polyp and medusa forms के बारे में उन्होंने और अच्छी तरह से दिखाया है internally. There are two types of polyp forms in cnidarians, polyp and medusa. Polyp is tubular, attached, asexual form with upwardly directed mouth and tentacles. Example of medusa polyp form is hydra and adamsia. While medusa is an umbrella-like, free-swimming sexual form with downwardly directed mouth and tentacles. Here you can see the difference. Example Aurelia, which is called as jellyfish. बेटा ये fish है ही नहीं, ये nidarian है. Jellyfish is not a fish, it's a nidarian. So it's a misnomer. इसको fish बोलना गलत है. Because जब हम यही chapter में आगे fish क्या होता है देखेंगे ना, that time you will realize this is not a fish at all. But because it belongs to water, because it can swim in water, उसको एक fish नाम दे दिया है. But it's a wrong name. The good scientific name which is accepted is Aurelia. Fine. So look at the difference between polyp form and medusa form. Example Adamsia and Aurelia. ठीक है? कोई difficulty है? Then, as I said, they show alternation of generation. That is what they are talking about. Metagenesis. It is the phenomena shown by some cnidarians in which polyp produces medusa asexually and medusa produces polyp sexually. Example is obelia. So the same thing that I had discussed earlier. So see, these are the gonads, sperm and the egg. External fertilization takes place to give rise to zygote. Zygote will develop to form the planula larvae. Planula larvae will then get attached to the substratum and develop into a polyp. This is a mature polyp. Why do we call it as a mature polyp? Because now a bud formation is seen over here. So asexual reproduction takes place by budding. Portion of a colony of polyps. See, you can see so many polyps are being formed. This is the feeding polyp, means the tentacles are developed and now they can capture the prey on their own. Okay, fine. And they will bud off to give rise to medusa. So this is the bud of the medusa. ये जब निकल आएगा बाहर, तो they will develop into medusa. So polyp gives rise to medusa asexually and medusa gives rise to polyp sexually. Did you all understand alternation of generation? As seen in obelia. Please remember the names. So till now we have seen something called as three names in cnidarians as well. That is what? Hydra. Correct? The first one. Then the second one that we saw was Aurelia. And the third that we are seeing is obelia. Okay? What you want, beta? Alternation of generation. See, this is your polyp form. Polyp will bud off. Right? ये polyp है. ये bud बाहर निकाल के फेंक देगा. इसका bud जो है, it will germinate to form this medusa. Medusas are male and female different. So male medusas will make spermatozoa. Females will make eggs. So the sperms and the eggs will be liberated into the water bodies. They will undergo fertilization to give rise to zygote. Zygote will undergo mitosis to develop into planula larvae, which will then further mature to form the polyp. So the polyp will give rise to medusa. Medusa will give rise to polyp. So there is alternation of generation. Just as in case of plants, sporophyte gives rise to gametophyte. Gametophyte gives rise to sporophyte. In the same way, here polyp gives rise to medusa. Medusa gives rise to polyp. Okay? Still any confusions, my dears? Cnidarians? Unique characteristic इसके तीन हमने देखे हैं, हाँ? So you have to remember all of them, but they are easy, of course. Corals have skeleton made up of calcium, CaCO3. क्या है? Calcium. CaCO3 क्या होता है? Come on, inorganic chemistry. Organic chemistry. What is it? Come on, I want the name. CaCO3 chemistry निकालो तुम्हारी. हाँ. That is what I'm asking. Yes, you are right. Calcium carbonate. So, see, some of these are called as corals. You have heard about this word coral? Corals पता है आपको? Ornaments के जैसे हम use करते हैं corals को. Right? We use corals to make ornaments. So, the corals have skeleton made up of calcium carbonate. So, corals are the fourth example of cnidarians. So, first example that we saw was Hydra, second was Aurelia, third was Obelia, and fourth is coral. Coral general term है, उसके अलग-अलग नाम है बेटा. ये देखो, mushroom coral, brain coral, madrepora, ये है tubipora, ये अलग-अलग उसके है ना नाम है. These are the different names of it. ठीक है? Understood? So these all are going to be the different corals. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So Look at this. Stony coral. Yes, stony coral. This is the stony coral. The name has not been mentioned. This is the stony coral, and this is going to be your finger-like corals. These are called as the finger corals. Okay, yeah. You can see tentacles. You can see the mouth, the stomach, gastrodermis. Then this is your सीनोसार्क मतलब एक दूसरे को कनेक्ट करने वाले जो होते हैं ना स्ट्रक्चर्स वो होते हैं. एंड हियर यू कैन सी द बेसल प्लेट थीका. ये जो है ना ये एग्जैक्टली ये पूरा का पूरा है ना स्टोनी कोरल का स्ट्रक्चर. इंटरनली दे लुक लाइक दिस. दे आर वेरी ब्यूटीफुल. एग्जांपल्स हाइड्रा, ओबेलिया, फाइजेलिया, एडम्सिया, पेनाट्यूला, Gorgonia and Meandrina. These all examples are given in your NCERT textbook. Yeah, they connect the two organisms together, interconnect. बेटा ये सारे एग्जाम्पल के नाम आपके बुक में है. उन्होंने उधर सिर्फ नाम दिए हैं, इधर ये पिक्चर्स दिखाई दे रहे हैं तुम्हें. हाइड्रा लुक लाइक दिस. ओबेलिया. Physalia is also called as Portuguese man of war. Please remember these. Portuguese man of war is also given in your textbooks. So this is Physalia. देखो कैसे दिखता है. Adamsia is sea anemone. Penatula is sea pen. Gorgonia is sea fan. And Meandrina is braincoat. You have to remember these names. Yeah, all. So have you all written down? Write down these names. आज अभी एक बार लिखो, नहीं तो तुम बोलोगे मैम आपने शेयर नहीं किया था तो हमारे पास कैसे आएगा. एनसीईआरटी तो हम खोलते ही नहीं है. हाँ, write down these example and I have given you Aurelia करके और एक मैंने आपको बताया है. हाइड्रा है ही, लेकिन बीच में मैंने आपको ऑरेलिया भी बताया था. That was the Medusa वाला example. So write down all of them. Hydra, Obelia, Physalia, Adamsia, Penatula, Gorgonia, Meandria, and Aurelia. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 names to be written. Yeah. 8 names to be written for whom? Nadarians. Sponge के लिए 3 ही था. इसके लिए 8 है. लिखे सबने? Characteristics at a glance. Grades of organization tissue, symmetry radial, germ layers diploblastic, coelom acoelomate, habit and habitat aquatic, free living, free swimming, sessile, solitary or colonial. Digestive system incomplete. They could undergo intracellular as well as extracellular digestion. Respiratory system absent, circulatory system absent. Reproduction, polyp reproduces asexually by the process of budding to give rise to medusa, and medusa undergoes sexual reproduction to give rise to polyp. Most are separate sexes. External fertilization takes place. Development is indirect. I hope you all remember the meanings of all these. External fertilization means fertilization will take place in the water body. Indirect development means larval stages would be formed. Intermediate larval stages would be formed. Unique features: tentacles with nidoblast, gastrovascular cavity with an opening on hypostome, polyp and medusa forms. Some show alternation of generation. Corals have skeleton made up of calcium carbonate. Examples: Hydra, Obelia, Aurelia, Physalia, Adamsia, Penatula, Gorgonia, Meandrina. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. यस, तो ये एट अ ग्लांस एकदम सिंपल हो जाता है ना, एक बार मीनिंग समझ में आ गया तो। दीज आर गोइंग टू हेल्प यू ऑल अ लॉट। ये शॉर्ट नोट्स बना के रखने हैं आपको। कैसे बना के रखने हैं? हाउ आई गोइंग टू मेक इट? जहां आप ज्यादा टाइम स्पेंड करते हो ना, जिस एरिया में, उधर आपको ये चार्ट चिपका के रखने हैं। यू हैव टू एक्चुअली मेक चार्ट्स एंड स्टिक इट। स्मॉल स्मॉल चार्ट्स बनाकर, ये इंडिविजुअल कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स एट अ ग्लांस वाले, ये जो चार्ट्स मैं यहाँ पर डायरेक्टली बना के दे रही हूँ ना, ये आपको बना के है ना, यू हैव टू स्टिक इट ऑन द एरिया वेयर यू रेगुलरली मूव अराउंड। यू नो व्हाट विल हैपन विद इन 2-3 मंथ्स ना, वो देख देख के है ना आपका पूरा एनिमल किंगडम याद हो जाएगा। यू डोंट हैव टू सिट एंड स्टडी फॉर एनिमल किंगडम। Just looking at it at a glance, till your examination take place next year, just ensure that ये आप छोटे छोटे ऐसे स्टिकी नोट्स कैसे बनाते हैं ना, वैसे छोटे छोटे चार्ट्स बनाकर है ना डालते जाओ, तुम्हारे अच्छे हैंडराइटिंग में बनाते जाओ। इट विल हेल्प यू ऑल अ लॉट। रट्टा मारने की कोई जरूरत ही नहीं है। देयर इज नो नीड फॉर रट्टा। जस्ट लुकिंग एट दिस आते जाते फॉर अ ईयर, योर एनिमल किंगडम विल बी done very easily. Okay, so that was the second one, that is Nidarians that we have seen. Then we go ahead with the third one, that is Ctenophora, also called as ctenoblasts. Okay, so they are foam jellies or we call them as sea walnuts. ये उसके examples हैं। देखो कैसे दिखता है। इसकी स्पेशलिटी होती है bioluminescence. They shine during the night. They look so transparent, glass-like. See, right? Yeah, they are very beautiful. They are very beautiful, but they are equally harmful. Let us see. Okay. So general characteristics में grades of organization, tissue grade means they are going to form only tissues. They don't have any organs. They don't have any organ systems. This one also you can see, right? This red and golden color कैसे shine हो रहा है रात में। ये रात की pictures है। सब background अगर देखोगे तो dark backgrounds दिखाई देंगे, because this pictures are taken especially during the night time. During the daytime, because they are almost translucent or transparent, you cannot figure them out. Night में, yes, you can see them. Symmetry is radial symmetry. You can see how beautiful the pictures are. You cut them into whatever, like whichever plane, you're going to get two equal halves. The symmetry is radial symmetry. Germ layers, diploblastic. They have got two germ layers. Here you can see the actual picture, and this is the diagrammatic representation. Okay, so you can see very well. This is the way the organism look like. Acoelomates, no coelom present. You can see over here, these are the tentacles. The tentacles have got fine hair-like projections, which will be called as, this one, hairy tentacles. We call them as hairy tentacles, fine hair-like tentacles. Okay, this is the apical organ, and just along with that, you have got the anal pore. Okay, here you can see the tentacle sheath. Look at the stomach, the gut, the pharynx. Okay, here you can see the mouth. Well, and can you see this word comb plates, beta? तो ये जो comb plates होते हैं, ये कुछ नहीं है, ये वाले हैं, ये आपको दिख रहे हैं, ये सारे एक के ऊपर एक ऐसे जो लाइन है, these would be called as comb plates. So the speciality of ctenophores is presence of comb plates. Very clearly you can see over here. Habit and habitat, exclusively marine habit. And habitat कैसा है उसका? Solitary and pelagic. What do you mean by pelagic? They are going to be found in the water level, मतलब lower levels of the water. That is called as pelagic lifestyle. ठीक है? Exclusively marine. Yeah, yeah. Yes. Yes, you're right. Digestive system is incomplete. Intracellular as well as extracellular digestion can take place. See, so many different types of photographs have been taken of the same organism, and everywhere it looks so beautiful. Right? Respiratory system absent, circulatory system absent, they don't have anything. Reproduction, only sexual. Now, this is something which is very unique, isn't it? They are going to have only sexual reproduction, that is going to be an available option. They are hermaphrodites, external fertilization, development is indirect. So you know the meaning of all these now. What is a unique feature? Locomotion is by 8 vertical external rows of ciliated comb plates. So ये आपको यहाँ पर है ना 1, 2 ये दिखाई दे रहे हैं. वैसे ही 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. 8 comb plates आपको दिखाई देंगे vertical row में. Ciliated comb plates. They also have got tentacles, which you can see, of course. Okay. So see, they have given the actual structure of the comb plates का close up. ये देखो, कितना मस्त दिख रहा है ये देखो. This is one comb plate. You can see, like a chain. Yes. Here you can see the comb plates. Here one chain, here second chain. Comb plates are called as teens. Therefore, they are called as ctenophore. CTENE. Teens का मतलब होता है plates, comb plates. Understood? Any difficulty? Example देखो बेटा, pleurobrachia. This diagram is of pleurobrachia. Okay? They have the ability to emit light from the body. This phenomenon is called as bioluminescence. What is it going to be called as? Bioluminescence. Remember this. Examples, pleurobrachia and ctenoplana. ये देखो. Doesn't it look like that night lamp wala thing? Glass के lamps होते हैं देखो. They look exactly like that, na? Right? And here you can see the comb plates very nicely. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and यहाँ पर है 8. You can see the comb plates very nicely. Any difficulty in understanding these? This is one of the simplest. Ctenophora is very simplest type of group. Characteristics at a glance. Grades of organization tissue. Symmetry radial. Germ layers diploblastic. Coelom acoelomates. Habitat exclusively marine, solitary and pelagic. Digestive system is incomplete. Intracellular and extracellular digestion. Respiratory system absent. Circulatory system absent. Reproduction only sexual. External fertilization. Development is indirect. Unique features, locomotion by 8 vertical comb plates. Tentacles are present. They show bioluminescence. Example दो ही है, ctenoplana and pleurobrachia. So please write down the example के नाम बेटा, ctenoplana and pleurobrachia. Write it down quickly. So till now you have written 14, right? 14 examples till now. What is bioluminescence? Capacity of emitting light during night is called as bioluminescence. The capacity of an organism to emit light during night is called as bioluminescence. Okay. Bioluminescence is shown by many organisms. The one which is very famous is which one? Which fly? Which emits light at the night? Come on. We call it as, it's called as what? रात में उड़ते हैं तो दिखते हैं, हाँ काजवे कहते हैं हम लोग उसको, मराठी में जुगनू कहते हैं, हिंदी में fireflies. Yes, it's very correct. So those are going to be your fireflies. Yeah, in Hindi we call them as jugnu, in Marathi we call them as काजवे, right? वो कोई तो एक मूवी आया था शंकर महादेवन का और सचिन पिलगांवकर का, गाना मुझे याद है यार, लेकिन I don't remember the movies. उसमें ये बहुत सारे fireflies दिखाए थे. It was a Marathi movie. It was a Marathi movie. I forgot the name. Shankar Mahadevan and Sachin Pilgaonkar. It was based on some music concert के ऊपर था. It was based on some music के ऊपर था. Shankar Mahadevan is famous for music now. You know him. You know na, he had sung that Breathless. Ah, yes, Jaya, you are right. I forgot the name. Yeah, it was Katyar Kazad mostly. I remember. What is your doubt? Pelagic का meaning? Pelagic का meaning होता है those which are present in open seas or open water bodies. Okay, not confined. So sea है, ocean है, that is called as pelagic. In lower layers of the water bodies, generally they'll be found swimming. Got this? Can I go ahead? शेयर हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा? Next we come to platyhelminthes. So what is the speciality of platyhelminthes? Look at it. Grades of organization, organ and organ system. This is the actual worm. ये ऐसे दिखता है, ये platyhelminthes का ये जो tapeworm है ना, ये actual में ऐसे दिखता है. ये photograph है, ये drawing नहीं है. This is the photograph. And this is planaria. Okay, you can see it. I'll show you. I'll tell you where you get the tapeworms. This is planaria, beta. ये planaria है, which is very famous for this thing, regeneration. Regeneration जब भी हम पढ़ाते हैं ना, the first example that we give is planaria. So where does planaria belong to? It belongs to platyhelminthes. Okay. Yeah. Symmetry is bilaterally symmetrical. You can only cut it in this particular fashion to get two equal halves. So bilateral symmetry है यहाँ पर. Radial symmetry खत्म हो गया. हमने already chart में किया था. If it is radial symmetry, it's going to be Ctenophora या फिर Cnidaria. Correct? And if it is tissue level with bilateral symmetry, then acoelomates ही है, but that is going to be platyhelminthes. But because it is bilateral symmetry, it is not a part of Cnidaria or Ctenophora. Because of bilateral symmetry, now we have got it removed from there and put it into a new group called as platyhelminthes. Right? Germinal layer, triploblastic. 3 germ layers, ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm present. So this is one more advanced thing that we can see. So body covered from ectoderm, tissue filled with region from the mesoderm, and digestive tract from the endoderm. Right? Coelom is absent. So though it is going to be your triploblastic type of organism, it does not have a body cavity. Therefore, it's going to be acoelomate. So here you can see the structure very clearly. इसको अगर हमने यहाँ से कट किया तो हमें क्या दिखेगा बेटा? You can see the endoderm. You can see the mesenchyme. Mesenchyme is nothing but the scattered tissue you can see over here. Muscle layer, that is going to be the mesoderm, and this is the ectoderm. So no cavity is present. ठीक है? Habitat and habit, mainly aquatic. Some are endoparasites, some are free living. So they could be found anywhere in water bodies, inside the animals as endoparasites, and some are free living. This is a liver fluke. ये जो डायग्राम है ये liver fluke का डायग्राम है. ये देखो, fasciola कहते हैं हम लोग इसको. The scientific name is fasciola. Liver fluke. Planaria is free living. This is an endoparasite. Even tapeworm, endoparasite. Okay. Digestive system is still incomplete. Only a single opening which acts as mouth and anus. Respiratory system absent, circulatory system absent. So very easy to remember these things. Look at this planaria, beta. Here the eyes are there, but the eyes are not going to be showing any vision. Nothing. Branch gastrovascular cavity. This is the pharynx, which will bear the mouth as well as the anus. दोनों एक में ही. Okay. Incomplete digestion. ऐसी. Reproduction, asexual reproduction, that is by fragmentation. Even sexual reproduction is seen. They are hermaphrodites. Internal fertilization. This is something that is different from others till now. Right? Development is indirect. Many larval stages are going to be seen. Fragmentation in planaria. Planaria has a high regeneration capacity. So this planaria is dividing into 1, 2, 3 pieces. But all the 3 pieces are developing into 3 organisms. So 3 adults can be formed from the 3 fragments of this planaria. Okay. So this is something very unique, isn't it? Here, it has got ovaries. It has got testes. Therefore, they are hermaphrodites. Correct? Here they have got the genital cord, the oviduct, and the penis as well. So these planaria is going to be a very good example of asexual reproduction के लिए भी and sexual reproduction के लिए भी. बहुत clearly यहाँ पर demarcations दिखाई देते हैं. Okay. Unique features: unsegmented dorsoventrally flattened body except tapeworm. Excretion by flame cells, which are also called as protonephridia. Please remember, this is a very common question that has been asked several times. Flame cells are found in. Flame cells carry out dash function. Planaria shows dash for excretion. You know, like various ways में ये flame cells, planaria in the sense your platyhelminths. Okay. एक ये प्रोटोनेफ्रीरिया, ये वर्ड्स बहुत कॉमन है बेटा. तो ये इनका बहुत मतलब फेवरेट टाइप ऑफ टॉपिक है जहां से ये लोग क्वेश्चन बनाएंगे. ओके. सो ओनली tapeworms have got segmented body, rest no one has got the segmented body. Planaria में भी नहीं है और fasciola में भी नहीं है. Look at this flame cell. ये flame cell ऐसे दिखते हैं. Okay. Unique features, if it's a parasite especially, look at this. Hooks and suckers in parasitic forms. You can see these hooks. ये देखो. And these are the suckers. Now, what will they help in? It's a parasite. So the parasite has to get attached to the tissue of the host. So hooks will help them to get attached to the host body. And the suckers will help them to absorb nutrients from the host body. So see how they have adapted, the parasitic forms have adapted so precisely that वो आराम से host में से जो चाहिए वो निकाल सकते हैं. So some absorb nutrients from the host through their body surface. Okay. Now there's one more point. Let me see if it is. You understood ना? Hooks क्या है और suckers क्या है? Okay. Yes. Examples is Taenia solium, which is called as the pork worm. Pork tapeworm कहते हैं उसको. So where is it going to be found? It's going to be found as a parasite in the pig. Pig के intestine के अंदर सबसे ज्यादा टीनिया सोलियम मिलते हैं हमें. Okay. Fasciola is the liver fluke and planaria is generally free living. Three examples: Taenia solium, Fasciola, and planaria. Please write down 3 names. Yeah, hook is for grip. Yes, grip. Write down the examples: Taenia solium, Fasciola, and planaria. Done? Battery. 1 minute. I'll just connect to the charger. I'll come in a minute. Yes. Let us see the characteristics at a glance. Grades of organization is organ and organ system now. So till your Ctenophora, it was tissue. And from Platyhelminthes, we have got organ and organ system. Okay. Symmetry is bilateral, triploblastic, acoelomate, mainly aquatic, endoparasites. Some are free living. Digestive system is incomplete, respiratory absent, circulatory absent. Reproduction asexual by fragmentation as seen in planaria, as well as sexual. They are hermaphrodites. There's going to be internal fertilization. Development is indirect with many larval stages. Okay. Unique features: unsegmented dorsoventrally flattened body except tapeworm, which has got, you saw the segments on it. Excretion is by flame cells, that is going to be protonephridia. Parasites have hooks and suckers. Some absorb nutrients from the host through their body surface. Example: Taenia solium, Fasciola, and planaria. Okay? Now there was one question which they had asked in 2017. The question was that the parasitic forms which bears the hooks and the scolex show adaptations like dash. Okay, so they show the adaptations of having suckers and hooks. That itself is an adaptation. But along with that, what is the other adaptation that they will have? The other adaptation that these parasitic forms is going to have is they'll not have any digestive system because they get ready-made nutrition. They only have to absorb the, pre-digested food from the host. So it's a digested food. उनको कोई डाइजेशन की जरूरत नहीं होती है, इसीलिए प्लैटिहेल्मिन्थस में डाइजेशन का कुछ मतलब बनता ही नहीं है. So it is not extracellular, it is not intracellular, digestion is absent. It's incomplete system, but no digestion taking place in parasitic forms. Okay, so these three are going to be your typical. ये Taenia solium ही है, ये जो है ना, ये tapeworm ही है. This is that white color का worm that you had seen in the earlier picture. So it's going to get attached to the host ka tissue. This is a diagram. That was the original one. Okay. Then we come to ascomyths. Ascomyths are also called as roundworms. क्या कहते हैं हम इनको? Roundworms कहते हैं. ये बहुत सिंपल है. Ascomyths में हमने देखा था pseudocoelomates का एक example was only one and only one ascomyths. Let us see. Organ system of organization. Now everyone will show organ system. From platyhelminthes onwards, all are going to be organ system type of organization. Okay. Look at this. This is a hookworm. And look this. This is your ascaris. Ascaris पता है ना? Roundworms जो पेट में होते हैं, सबके होते हैं बचपन में. Symmetry is bilateral symmetry. Yeah, you can see that loa. ये देखो आंखों में आ गया है. It's in the eye. हाँ, very clearly see. It comes out, हाँ? It comes out through the eyes. ये आ जाता है बाहर लोआ. Yeah, so this is going to be your bilateral symmetry. This is the filarial worm. Filarial worm is going to cause, you know what? Filariasis. That is, this worm का scientific name is Vauchereria bancrofti, जो elephantiasis कराता है. You know elephantiasis? The legs become huge like an elephant's legs. That is called as elephantiasis, which is caused by this filarial worm. आएगा. Human health and diseases chapter में there is this filarial worm के बारे में कहानी है उसकी. Okay. How does it reach the eye? It's going to be present within the entire blood system, and it reaches all the organs. And wherever it can reach the eye, it can come out through the ears, nose, mouth. Okay. Then you can see over here the germinal layers are triploblastic. What do you mean by the word triploblastic? 3 germinal layers can be seen: ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. This is the specific characteristic that you can see of all the, henceforth, all the phyla. So from ascomyths, triploblastic clearly दिखाई दे रहा है. उसमें भी था, platyhelminthes में भी था, ascomyths में भी है. You can see it, ascomyths, germinal layers. This is your pinworm. ये जो है ना, हाँ, Loa is concerned with. No, it is called as Loa disease only. It's not a disease. You can take care of that worm very easily. But if you don't take medicine, then that worms can, enter your every part of your body. Okay. This is your enterobius vermifilaris, which is nothing but your pinworm. इसका जो ये टेपरिंग है ना, इससे पिन के जैसे दिखता है, therefore इसको pinworm कहा जाता है. सारे ये ascomyths है. Pseudocoelomates we had seen, right? So see, this is going to be the gut endoderm. This is the pseudocoel. This is the mesoderm. These are the internal organs which are present, and this is the ectoderm. They are pseudocoelomates. So see, false coelom. Okay. Habitat, aquatic and terrestrial, free living or parasitic, in plants also and in animals also. Look at these, you can see them very clearly. These are your catenotus, which are aquatic free living. Look at this ascaris inside the intestine. This is a real photograph which is taken. ये real photograph है. एंडोस्कोपी कराते हैं. एंडोस्कोपी में ना कैमरा एक टैबलेट में डालकर कैमरा अंदर डाला जाता है, and that camera goes on taking photographs of your entire gut. Okay, this is an intestine. ये intestine के अंदर है. देखो कैसे हैं ये worms. Look at them. So this is the intestine. Small intestine है ये अपना, and you can see these worms very clearly. So long worms. See, they are generally thrown out through the feces, but still This is Caenorhabditis elegans, which is a free-living escarpment. ये देखो Caenorhabditis. Caenorhabditis आपके molecular biology में भी आएगा, genetics में. It is one of the organisms जिसके ऊपर बहुत ज़्यादा study हुआ है, genetic study हुआ है. Okay. Yeah. These things generally happen in small children. Why that? Even in we all also. Generally, you know, छोटे बच्चों में होता है ना, तो वो 10 ml का albendazole या mebendazole पीने के लिए देते हैं. आपने भी पिया होगा, मुझे पता नहीं. पूरा 10 ml का एक मस्त बहुत टेस्टी मेडिसिन होता है. That is the only tasty medicine that I had ever had in my lifetime. I mean, I used to wait for consuming that अपना albendazole or mebendazole as a precautionary measure. It doesn't mean that a person is having, so it is, you know, that the child is given, but it is always better. You know why? Because the इनके जो cysts होते हैं ना, जो dormant forms होते हैं ना, they are generally present as eggs, or what we say, we call them as cysts in the mud. Okay. Now generally small children will play in the mud. Correct. और फिर वही हाथ मुंह में गया तो वो सिस्ट जो है ना, वो पूरा जर्मिनेट हो जाएगा अपने गट वॉल में जाने के बाद, डेवलप इनटू वॉल्स. सो इट्स अ प्रिकॉशनरी मेजर दैट यू कैन टेक. नाउ आफ्टर यू बिकम लाइक capable of taking pills, you can take pills, but before that it's given as 10 ml का पूरा बॉटल पीने के लिए देते. Okay, look at the digestive system. It is complete. So from platyhelminthes we can have a complete digestive system, that is mouth is different and anus is different. Tubular alimentary canal with well developed muscular pharynx. So you can see over here, this is the mouth. Okay, this is the pharynx. यहाँ पर this is the nerve ring. Okay, you can see the intestine. ये intestine है बेटा. हाँ. Then this is the pseudocoelom that you can see. The cuticle. This is the anus. This is the reproductive pore. This is the ovary. And this is the excretory pore over here. Yeah. Okay. So this is a typical platyhelminth का structure. Respiratory system and circulatory system are still absent only. They do not have respiratory system or circulatory system. Reproduction, they are dioecious, sexes are separate. Sexual reproduction takes place, internal fertilization takes place. Development could be direct or indirect. Means some of them will produce larval stages, some of them will not produce larval stages. Okay? So it may be direct, it may be indirect. What are the unique features? Body is circular in cross section. Syncytial epidermis, that is multinucleate epidermal cells होते हैं इनके पास. They have got a thick cuticle. Cuticle means a covering. एक मोटा सा covering होता है उनके ऊपर. Okay. An excretory tube is present to remove the body waste through the excretory pore. So here you saw this was the excretory pore, right? So through this pore, all the excretory waste will be thrown out. ठीक है, यहाँ पर देखो excretory tube यहाँ पर दिखाई दे, यहाँ पर excretory pore दिखाई दे. It's a pore, it's an opening. Shows sexual dimorphism. It is the morphological difference between male and female. Females are longer than the males. Very clear. Females are really longer than the males. And one more point is the males have a curved end while the females do not have any curvatures. ये देखो. Males का ये जो एक point होता है ना, ये ऐसे curved होता है बेटा हमेशा. Females का कभी नहीं होता. Examples: Ascaris, hookworm, filarial worm, roundworm और hookworm एक ही, ये roundworm और ascaris एक ही होता है. See, this is your encyclostoma, जिसको हम hookworm local name से जानते हैं. हाँ, see this. This is what I was talking about. This is called as elephantiasis. Look at this person's leg. They have become like an elephant's leg. And it is because of this voucher area. ये देखो voucher area मैंने पहले ही बताया था आपको. So what are the three names बेटा? Ascaris, encyclostoma, and voucher area. Local name is roundworm, hookworm, and filariasis worm respectively. Filarial worm. Copy down these three names. Come on quickly. Ascaris roundworm, encyclostoma hookworm, and voucher area filarial. तीनों नाम कॉपी करना एस्केलमेंथिस के. हमारे पेट में ये एस्केरियासिस होता है, राउंडवर्म प्रेजेंट होता है, पेट में बहुत गंदा वाला दर्द होता है. People say ना, don't eat too much of sweet. बचपन में सुना होगा, बहुत ज्यादा स्वीट मत खा ले, कीड़े हो जाते हैं पेट में. ऐसे कुछ सुना है आपने, कभी बोला है आपको? These love sweets. Roundworms love the sweets. You know, in this, but if they attack ना, तो हमें बहुत ज्यादा मीठा खाने का मन करता है. And generally they will reach the tonsil areas. तो यहाँ पर है ना बहुत ऐसे अंदर से, it becomes very irritating. And you start coughing also, and that cough has got a peculiar sound also. Small children will generally, you know, like immediately समझ में आ जाता है बच्चों का वो coughing सुनने के बाद कि भाई इसको एस्केलमेंथिस एस्केरियासिस का प्रॉब्लम है करके. Got it? Done? Good. So that's about your platyhelminthes. Platyhelminthes at a glance. Organ system, level of organization, bilateral symmetry, triploblast, pseudocoelobate, aquatic, terrestrial, free living, parasitic. सब conditions में ये sustain कर सकते हैं. Digestive system is complete with mouth and anus. Respiratory system absent. Circulatory system absent. Reproduction, they are dioecious. Sexual reproduction takes place by internal fertilization. Development could be direct or indirect. Unique features, syncytial epithelium. Syncytial का मतलब होता है बेटा multinucleated. Okay. Thick cuticle and excretory tube is present to remove the waste through the excretory pore. They show sexual dimorphism. Example is Ascaris, Encyclostoma, and voucher area. Is it clear? Very much. कोई difficulty है इसमें? So how many phyla have we studied till now? Porifera, Cnidaria, Ctenophora, Platyhelminthes, Askelminthes. So out of the 11 phyla that we had to study, we have completed with 5 phyla today. Correct? Right? इसके आगे आएगा अपना arthropoda, which is actually now we're going to Annelida, which is actually going to be very simple. Okay, but Annelida, arthropoda, Echinodermata, mollusk, hemichordata, and chordata are what are remaining for us to go ahead with, which we will do it in the next class. It's almost 2:30. I won't trouble you all. I won't make you all wait to complete Annelida. Okay, but till whatever we have done, kindly go through the textbooks. Kindly do it, learn it very precisely. The way I have done, you know, at a glance वाला part, वो बहुत important है. वो बनाते जाओ बेटा. I know you will tell, मैम आप ये भेज दो PPT, वही देख के हम लोग चार्ट बना के चिपकाएंगे. Whatever, but you need to learn it. Okay, so from Annelida onwards, we'll go ahead in the next class. Fine? Bye. See you all.